Every minute, 255 babies are born on Earth. From the moment of conception, every baby is endowed with a genetic blueprint formed by the mysterious recombining of its parents' genes. From the beginning, it interacts with the unique environment of its mother's womb, responding to an intricate series of biochemical operations and other influences as it grows. It begins to learn and acquire experience, and it continues to acquire all kinds of experiences through every moment of its existence, right up until its last breath. In every instant of its life, this being undergoes constant biochemical, emotional, and intellectual changes, even during sleep. It continuously learns and grows, using the endowments it was given at birth, as well as new skills that it acquires. Moment after moment, this being acts and reacts to its environment and to the other beings in it, thus becoming quite singular and unique in terms of the history it slowly accumulates and the memories it stores within itself. In all the universe, there will never be another mortal being just like this one. No other being had exactly the same mother and father, and existed at exactly the same place and moment in space and time as this one. No other person was subject to precisely the same set of environmental conditions and influences, nor interacted with them in precisely the same way. So what's the point and value of all this experience? And what happens to it and to the self that experienced it when a person dies? Does our identity, with all that we've learned during our lifetime of experiences, live on somehow in some other form after death? If it does continue, what happens to it? Where do we go? And what happens when we get there? And what happens after that? And after that? In the great outpouring of spiritual truth in the Urantia papers, we receive the most extraordinary testimony of the worth of every single human life that can be found anywhere in the books or sacred teachings of our world. We clearly learn that each mortal being is singular and valuable in the grand scheme of things because it has the potential to make a unique personal contribution to the evolving Supreme Being, the evolutionary deity of time and space. Just by coming into existence, every being of selfhood faces the great challenge of making a decision sooner or later about whether or not it wants to live on into eternity and contribute to the cosmic unfolding of the Supreme by actualizing its own unique and divine potentials. It does this by personalizing and actualizing those experiences which have cosmic meaning and value into its own evolving selfhood. Such experiences endure as reality and are all transferred through the various circuits of the grand universe to the evolving Supreme Being. In paper 117 of the Urantia book, there's a stunning statement about the impact of a single mortal life on the evolution of God the Supreme, which says, "The progressing personality leaves a trail of actualized reality as it passes through the ascending levels of the universes. Be they mind, spirit, or energy, the growing creations of time and space are modified by the progression of personality through their domains. When man acts, the Supreme reacts, and this transaction constitutes the fact of progression. Now, that's the supreme value and meaning of a life centered on doing the will of God. It's a simple formula. We accumulate experience through using our mind and spirit to make decisions about how we're going to think and act and react moment after moment, day by day. Those decisions which align with the will of God, quote, which have been illuminated by sincere worship, glorified by intelligent love, and consummated in brotherly service, end quote, have cosmic meaning and value, and actually go into weaving our soul and building our character on all levels. They become not only our eternal possession, but that of the Supreme Being. In the Urantia papers, we discovered that our small personal lives are part of an unimaginably large family of beings, all kinds of beings who inhabit the grand universe in which we live, and that our individual existence is part of a great plan that we cannot see yet with our mortal eyes, but which we can discern through revelation with our spiritual eye. Every being in the universe has a purpose, and that purpose has to do with a truly vast and inconceivable process of perfecting the entire universe in which we live, all evolving beings and things on all levels of matter, mind, and spirit, which takes us to this topical study on the mortal ascension career. In this series of presentations, we will guide you through the Urantia book's revelations of the amazing new life and extraordinary worlds of experience that await us after our physical death. While it's true that our physical life begins and ends on this planet, the life of our soul does not. We'll follow our soul's journey as it's revealed in astonishing detail in the Urantia book, from our human life in this world at the bottom rung of universe existence, to our future life as a Urantia being in the training worlds of the local universe and eventual metamorphosis into spirit form. In future presentations, we'll continue the journey of our age-long climb through the perfect central universe of creation, upwards and inwards to the divine heights of paradise glory and perfection. Our evolutionary journey is one of progressive learning and achievement. Every world that we will inhabit and experience has specific purposes and goals in terms of educating, socializing, training, and transforming us as we advance along the continuum from matter to spirit. First, we'll paint the big picture of our mortal ascension career, and then we'll take a look at the 7 major stages between our momentary mortal life on earth and our distant attainment of paradise. It's important to get the big picture, the who, what, when, where, why, and how of our epic journey, so that we can fit all the pieces together and form a meaningful whole in our mind. Once we realize the true destination and purpose of our ascension journey, then our mortal life and humble origins on this planet make a lot more sense and become a lot more meaningful to us. And so does the journey before us. Another goal of this presentation is to develop a conceptual framework for understanding the evolutionary steps whereby we'll be eventually transmuted from our current material status to that of a full-fledged Urantia being, and then a pure spirit, and finally an eternalized spirit in paradise. And perhaps, to some degree, the knowledge of our Father's divine plan for our progress, and the gifts He has given us to achieve it, and the eternal value He obviously places on experiential learning, may help to ease the burden and suffering of our present human existence. Isn't it immensely uplifting and encouraging to realize that we are indwelt by a spirit fragment of God, whose sole purpose is to fuse with us and confer upon us eternal life and divine perfection? Of course, this will take a very long time to achieve. Remember, nothing happens quickly in eternity. Now, for those who are new to the revelation of our mortal ascension career, we wish to carefully set the stage for understanding what it is and why it is. It will mean much more if we comprehend the origin of the ascension path, which is as old as time itself. It all started way back in the eternal past, when the Universal Father, in projecting the bestowal of the thought adjusters, proposed to the Eternal Son, "Let us make mortal man in our own image." This image, of course, refers to the spirit fragment of the Father, which indwells each of us. And to these imperfect creatures of the worlds of time and space, the Universal Father issued the divine command which echoes across the stage of eternity: "Be you perfect, even as I am perfect." This mandate ever urges mortal man onward and beckons him inward in that long and fascinating struggle for the attainment of higher and higher levels of spiritual values and true universe meanings. This sublime search for the God of universes is the supreme adventure of the inhabitants of all the worlds of time and space. To enable these same creatures that inhabit the evolutionary worlds of the super-universes to achieve this goal, the Universal Father and His Paradise Associates, the Eternal Son and the Infinite Spirit, created a threefold plan of divine perfection attainment: the plan of progressive attainment, the bestowal plan, and the plan of mercy ministry. We'll quickly describe these three divine perfection plans because they will profoundly impact our existence for ages to come. The first part deals with the Universal Father's plan of creation and evolutionary ascension. We're told the Father and His Son are as one in the formulation and prosecution of this gigantic attainment plan for advancing the material beings of time to the perfection of eternity. This provision for upstepping the creatures of time involves the Father's bestowal of the thought adjusters and the endowing of material creatures with the prerogatives of personality. The next part is the bestowal plan, in which the Eternal Son bestows His Creator Sons upon the evolutionary creations, there to personalize and factualize, to incarnate and make real the love of the Father and the mercy of the Son, to the creatures of all universes. The final part of the divine plan of progress is the plan of mercy ministry, in which the infinite Spirit projected and put in operation the tremendous and universal enterprise of mercy ministry. By means of this divine plan, incalculable numbers of spiritual personalities of the infinite Spirit assist all ascending creatures in learning, experiencing, and mastering everything that's required to reach paradise. And they do all of this with the utmost love, patience, and tender care.